Hello, this is episode number 2 in this series of biblical political philosophy. Yesterday, under episode 1, we had given introduction about biblical political philosophy. What does it mean by the words biblical, political, and philosophy? I have tried to explain from the dictionary meanings and then how we need to look into this series and listen to what I'm saying on biblical political philosophy. Today, I am sharing with you right from Genesis chapter 1, where God instituted politics right in the beginning, after the creation of man and woman. When I say politics, you should remember the definitions I have already given in episode 1, that it is science on rule and rulership. Science on rule and rulership is called politics. So God instituted science of rule and rulership right in the beginning, in soon after the creation of mankind on the face of the earth. We know the creation story in Genesis chapter 1, and beginning from day 1, then he finally came to day 6, and you will see the institution of politics implemented by God right in the beginning of the Bible. That's why I have titled it as biblical political philosophy. What does it say in Genesis 1:26? Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion. The word dominion occurs here first. Dominion means rulership or kingdom or a domain with the rulership. That is the meaning of the word dominion. So let them have this. This we'll be seeing a little later, but today my focus is only to mention that God instituted politics right after the creation of man and woman. No, dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping things that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. That is verse 28. Now, I'm going to read some of the comments of our well-known Bible teacher and a great pastor and a well-admired man of God, a servant of God by me too. And the Bible that I always refer is the Spirit-Filled Life Bible. You know to whom I refer to. Now, when God created man in his own image, in the image of God he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply. There is a rule given. There is a command given. So you know who is the ultimate king. Ultimate king is God himself. God gives a command or a rule. So politics started. Science of rule and rulership, it started right there. Then, and subdue it. There is another aspect of the political science. One is the rule coming from above, and another is the act of subduing coming from down. So he said, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Now my comments are like this. Through the two of them together, he intended to live and reveal himself in the world. Okay, his intention of God is to live and reveal himself into the world through mankind. Through them, God intended to manifest his character, that is his nature, his character, personality, and what are the good and the virtues, and authority. Authority. Through them, God intended to manifest his authority. Again, one aspect of politics, the authority, and express his dominion over the earth. I already said about the word dominion. Display his indisputable power over the works of darkness and subdue his arch enemy, Satan. See, the main purpose for which God created man and woman is to show forth his character, his authority, and so that we may have dominion over the earth, not only just the dominion that we read earlier in verse 28, over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. But he goes further on saying, dominion over the earth, display his indisputable power over the works of darkness. Today, after the American election, we are wondering whether Christians, believers, pastors, leaders, or President Trump had any disputable power over the works of darkness, could subdue his arch enemy Satan. Why it could not, whether it's going to happen in the next few days, few months, or 4 years, I do not know. But as on today, it is not the day I am recording this, but this is happening all over the world. In India, we have a government for now 7 years. It's going to be another 3 more years. And God has allowed whatever the works of the darkness, let me put it that way, the works of darkness to be there. And we do not see righteousness, justice, and truth. And so the purpose is defeated. Why? People are sleeping. That's what in my other series you need to listen. I'm recording Arise, O Church. When I say Arise, O Church, how church has to be restored back and come to this place of subduing the arch enemy of God, Satan. So the first man and woman were a microcosm of the church, microcosm of the church. Understand? Because see, when I talk about the church, I'm going to talk Arise, O Church, and even the political philosophy biblically, I'm going to refer to the church right from Adam and Eve. That's what Jack Hayford has written clearly. The first man and woman were a microcosm of the church, signaling that God's glory would forever be seen in the earth through the combined expression of male and female. Now, as then, God's blessing, his promise of success, is upon our unity. Unity is another factor I'm going to talk on Arise, O Church. So it is so well said here. On the combined expression of male and female, God's blessing, his promise of success, upon the unity of man and woman, he can subdue the arch enemy Satan. So you know the story later what happened, but I want you to understand in this the philosophy, the political philosophy, how it got generated right from God himself, right from God himself when he created man and woman. Right in Genesis chapter 1, biblical political philosophy established or instituted. Now, further down, when you read, man is distinct from the rest of creation. The divine triune council determined that man was to have God's image and likeness. Man is a spiritual being who is not only body but also of soul and spirit. He is a moral being whose intelligence, perception, and self-determination far exceed that of any other earthly being. So we are the supreme being. So when we talk about biblical political philosophy or politics, we can exercise or we can experience, okay? These properties of trade are traits possessed by mankind and his prominence in the order of creation imply the intrinsic, intrinsic worth, not only of the family of mankind, but also of each human individual. Capacity and ability constitute accountability and responsibility. We should never be pleased to dwell on a level of existence lower than that on which God has made it possible for us to dwell. We should strive to be the best we can be and to reach the highest levels we can reach. To do less is to be unfaithful stewards of the life entrusted to us. That is why when church separated the state and threw the politics out of the church, they not only became less in doing, thus becoming unfaithful stewards of the life, they have actually discarded the stewardship completely. Separation of church and state had brought us, whereas the Lord ultimate purpose, most important purpose, was to have rulership in him and against the arch rival Satan. Now Satan, how he has penetrated into the lives of many people into darkness. So we think the I mean, rival is not Satan, but all these people who are filled with darkness, we think. So even this morning we had a slight two opinions in our prayer meeting. Without understanding the darkness, if you think about who is the president, who is the new, and who is the old, you will not understand. You have to understand the basic concept of the political philosophy, biblical political philosophy. I am from the word, bringing out that blabber day after day. Listen to this series. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Somehow YouTube is keeping a watch on me, I think, because they removed two clips, and they're not allowing my subscription to go up. They're trying to cut down here and there, but please do, and so that you will get the whole series available for you. May God bless you and continue watching this series day after day. Thank you and praise God.